Hey guys, in this quick video I'm going to show you how to use the sequencer page and its features in Oracle's interface. Alright, so you see we have the sequencer page here selected and you have four options to choose from. The arpeggiator page, pan, filter, and volume. Alright, we're going to start with the arpeggiator page here. As you can see right now you have three choices and it's currently off. You have off mode, mono, and poly. Off simply means you bypass everything here, and then anything you play would just be as you play it. Mono mode means it's going to go through these steps here and play one voice at a time. I can show you how that works right now. So we have it on, and these numbers here at the bottom mean pitch order. So right now you see you need to play a maximum of 4 notes to get this to play every note. The table here represents the velocity that it's going to play. And remember, velocity is also interpreted over here. So if you don't have this set to 100%, it's not going to play these full values, but rather compress them according to the percentage over here. So right now, if I hold down something like a C minor chord, you're going to get the 4th note, then the 2nd note, then the 4th note again, then the 3rd note. All right, and right now it's reading all 16 bars. You can change that by dragging or click and dragging up and down. And same with the rate over here. We have quarter note and regular duple meters here, and then it goes into the triple meters or combo meters as well. So you have triplet figures. Alright, cool. And you'll also see down here at the bottom, we have a little inspirational tool. If you're having a little trouble or you'd like to just randomize what's coming out a little bit, simply click the randomize button after you set your max key. So what this does, you drag it up and down, it'll go between 1 and 8, which is the maximum amount of voices that the arpeggiator can read. And what that means is that this will generate a random number for each step between 1 and 8, or if you drag it down, it could be between 1 and 4. So if you click the random button, it will generate a new step sequence. If you don't like it, just keep hitting random until you see numbers or sounds that you like. And then we have a reset button here if you'd like to reset everything back to 1 and start from scratch. Alright, and that is mono mode, and poly does all the exact same things except it ignores all the numbers down here. It still has an 8 voice limit, but you can play any notes that you want. And it will read the rate and volume from here. And a cool thing about this is that you can actually start doing some really neat, almost LFO-like things or gate-like things if you set the ADR or ADSR appropriately. Actually, even the hold, the AHDSR. So let's turn the sustain off and you'll hear nothing. You can do some really cool things with hold here. So rather than just using the usual decay, you can have an immediate off. Alright, cool. Let's move on. Turn this back off. Oh, actually, one last thing. I do want to say that in mono mode, if you have the legato on, it actually reads what can be legato and what can't. So if you have 2 notes next to each other, it'll play them regularly without messing up any of the legato script, but it will glide between 4 and 2, for instance, as it changes the note values here. Let me show you what that sounds like. Alright, cool. You can actually get some really cool trance-like features if you crank up the rate a little bit and turn this thing up. When it doesn't have enough time to reach the pitch that it says it has the amount of time to get there, it gets some really crazy sounding effects there. Alright, let's turn this off. We're going to skip pan for now, and I'll explain why later. Let's go ahead and go over to the filter page here. And what this is a sawtooth LFO built into a table step sequencer so you can control a lot more parameters on the UI. So the bars and step rate here work the exact same way, except you see here we have 2 rates, and let me explain what these are. So the bars and rate here next to the table to the left and right control the steps that the table are going to be reading. So if we put this on, right now it's traversing through the table at 16th notes, according to whatever tempo you have it set on. And it's reading all 16 bars currently. You can drag up and down to change this as well, and it has the same values as the step sequencer or the arpeggiator. All right. And these three controls down here control the LFO filter directly. So we have rate. So this controls the filter rate separately from the table rate. And you'll see, as explained in the panel UI video, everything that you change reads out down here at the bottom. And then we have the resonance set on the filter and the cutoff. All right, cool. Let's move on to the volume sequencer page. Again, bars and rate work exactly the same as the other ones, except this one starts at a different value. This one starts at 8ths and goes up to 64ths. So it gives you 4 options in the duple and compound meters here, but it goes up to 64ths instead, so you can get some really cool on-off gates here. And you also see now we have presets. So let's go over these. If you turn this on, you get the usual on-off gate effect. This is the on-off. We have preset B here, which is sort of a faux sine wave. C is sort of a ramp up here. And D, which is a random preset. And since it's random, let me go ahead and explain to you how these presets work down here as well. Besides just clicking them, if you alt-click, it will always restore either the default select here for A, B, and C. These are all stored inside the internal script. And D, if you alt-click it, it will always generate a new random sequence. So if I alt-click this, you'll see it will always generate a new page. And if I come over here and change anything on this page and then alt-click A, it restores it to the on-off setting. Same with the little faux sine wave here. Alt-click, it changes it back to the default. So don't worry about ever losing any of these built-in presets. They'll always be there if you want to go back to them. All right, and another cool last little advanced feature here I can show you on these table sequencers for the arpeggiator, filter, and volume is that if you alt-click the first value here on the very far left, the first bar here on the table, so just alt-click, it will actually compress all the numbers here. And you'll see how it brought those up when I went back up. Alt-click this and restart it. If you move fast or faster, it won't remember anything that you're doing quite yet. If you stop and give it a minute, it'll know that it wants you to compress those values as well. And this can be useful for either going up or down, actually. So let's redo this. Let's say you have it about right here is what you want it to be. Then you can bring it up and bring it down, up. I mean, you can pretty much do whatever you want here. It's mainly just meant to make it easier for you, especially over here if you're not liking the velocities. Say you love the curve of everything, but everything's hitting a little too hard, and you're not getting exactly what you want by fixing the velocity or doing a whole volume change. Simply just alt-click, drag down. If you accidentally go over any of these other bars, it's not going to do anything. It'll just restore everything back to its original value. But if you come back over here to the left, it will then again start to drag around for you. So just make sure you stay on or to the left of the first bar here. All right, let's bring this back up. And now I can explain to you why we saved the pan sequencer for last. Let's turn this back off. Go into mono mode. All right, so you'll see pan only has a reset function, which resets anything that you draw in. And that is it. There's no bar, there's no rate, there's no presets or anything like that. What this means is that the pan will always read from these 3 sequencers, depending which one's on. And if they're all on, it reads in this order. It will always read arpeggiator first, then filter, then volume. So say if you have the arpeggiator and the volume sequencer on, it will only read its values for bar and rate from the arpeggiator sequencer. If you have the filter and volume rate on, or sequencer, sorry, it will read its rate and bar value from the filter sequencer page. So pretty much from left to right is the values in which it reads, whichever one's on. So if we have the arpeggiator sequencer on, right now we have everything set to center. You'll see up is right and down is left. You can control click to set that back to 0 if you don't want to hit reset. All right, so right now everything is going to be centered. And then we can just draw in some random values here. Get something interesting maybe. So yeah, some really cool, interesting features here. Yeah, hope you guys liked it. Thanks.